The behaviors we're talking about today are difficult. They are repetitive and they are exhausting. When something keeps happening over and over again, our instinct is to double down. We increase consequences because we want control back. We want the chaos to stop. We want relief. The behaviors I'm talking about are the ones that raise the bar on what feels disturbing. Peeing on the floor repeatedly, intentional messes, refusing chores, inappropriate phone use, food hiding or binging. The same behavior happening again and again and again, despite consequences. If you keep increasing consequences and nothing is changing or the behavior is getting worse, this video will explain why. Because escalating consequences doesn't teach kids like this to stop. It teaches them to escalate too. Hi, I'm Christine, and today we're going to talk about what you can actually do when repetitive, frustrating behaviors won't stop. First, I want to say something plainly. I know how exhausting this is. I used to wake up already bracing for the day before I even had a cup of water. Repetitive behavior can make you feel like you're trapped in Groundhog Day. Same mess, same argument, same escalation, different day. Today, I'm going to give you two things, specific tools and a paradigm shift. Because without a paradigm shift, you will spend your life deep breathing while someone trashes your house. I don't want that for you. I'm not interested in teaching you how to calm down after you're already worked up. I want you to understand this in a way that prevents you from getting worked up in the first place. Here's the shift. Parents believe consequences create learning, but for control-driven kids, consequences create threat. That's why we see more defiance, more secrecy, more power struggles. That's not because the child doesn't care. If consequences worked through fear and pressure, this would already be better. I kept thinking I just hadn't found the right consequence yet. What I was really doing was raising the stakes. And every time I raised the stakes, my child had to raise theirs. Consequences fail for control and organized kids because they don't experience consequences as information, they experience them as loss of control. And loss of control feels like loss of dignity. When dignity feels threatened, the nervous system goes into survival, and survival does not produce better behavior. Nobody behaves well when they are in survival mode. When a child is organized around control, consequences don't reduce behavior, they activate survival. No one behaves well in survival. We do whatever we think we need to do to regain power. And believe it or not, even behaviors that feel absurd, humiliating, infuriating can create a sense of control for that child, and control feels like dignity. That is the paradigm shift. The behavior is not about laziness. It is not about disrespect. It is not about ruining your day. It is about regaining dignity through control. Now let's talk tools. First tool, separate behavior from identity immediately in your own mind. This is the real moment everything changes. When the behavior happens, say internally, this is a control move, it is not personal. Not out loud, just in your own head. That one sentence prevents emotional escalation before it even begins. Second tool, lower intensity instead of increasing it. Make your response short, predictable, boring. Instead of you're grounded for a week, say the room needs to be cleaned before the phone is used. No lecture, no emotion, no added meaning. Third tool, regulate before you respond. If you feel your chest tighten, stop talking. Take one breath. Remind yourself escalation feeds the system, calm starves it. Fourth tool, do not chase repetition with bigger consequences. Repetition does not mean the consequence wasn't big enough. Repetition means the child is still seeking control, and you cannot punish control out of a nervous system. You can only make control unnecessary. That happens through predictability, calm, connection outside the moment of conflict, and boring consistency inside of it. This does not mean allowing chaos. It does not mean tolerating destruction. It means your energy stays flat, steady, unmoved. Avoid punishment disguised as consequences. Remind yourself this is a dignity-seeking response. Yes, even peeing on the floor. It is a control move, and grabbing control feels like dignity, even when the behavior looks ridiculous. Progress starts when consequences stop being emotional. Now, here's the part most parents get stuck on. If I stop escalating, if I stop increasing consequences, what do I do when the same behavior keeps happening anyway? Because it will. And this is where most parents accidentally undo everything. Repetition does not mean it isn't working. It means something very specific. And if you misunderstand that part, you'll go right back to escalating. That's what we're talking about next. Watch that video before you change anything, because this is the point where the system either shifts or resets. And that difference matters.